Hey everybody, Mark Z's here, Bible Land Explorer. I trust all is well with you in the place where you are. The place where I am is downtown Rome. Think for just a second about the word wireless. A century ago, it meant a tabletop radio. Today, it means the internet in your pocket. Same word, new reality. Ancient writers did the same thing with geography. And the geographical word that we're exploring today sounds like this, Kittim. If you track it, you'll find that this Old Testament word becomes code for Italy. To understand how this happened, we have to start at the beginning. In the Old Testament, Kittim first shows up in the famous Table of Nations in Genesis chapter 10, verse 4. There, Kittim is listed as a seafaring descendant of Yavan, who represents the Aegean peoples. Originally, Kittim wasn't a mystery. It was probably a reference to Kition, which was a Phoenician city-state on the southern coast of Cyprus. Today, we call the place Larnaca. So when early prophets like Isaiah or Jeremiah warned about the islands of Kittim, their audience immediately pictured Cyprus and the nearby Aegean coastlines. To ancient Israel, Kittim simply meant the seafaring west. It was out there somewhere in the Great Sea, on the edge of the known world. But history doesn't stand still, and neither did this word. As the centuries rolled on, massive new empires rose even further out in the west. The term Kittim began to stretch, turning into a bucket phrase for any powerful invading Western naval force. The game-changing reference appears in the prophetic book of Daniel. In chapter 11, mention of the ships of Kittim come to oppose the king of the north. Most biblical scholars align this prophecy with a wild showdown that happened in 168 BC. A Seleucid king named Antiochus IV was invading Egypt. A Roman ambassador met him on the beach, drew a circle in the sand around the king, and told him if he stepped out of it without promising to retreat, Rome would declare war. Of course, Antiochus backed down. When ancient Jewish scholars translated Daniel into Greek, they didn't even bother writing Kittim. They explicitly translated it as the Romans. Daniel captures the pivot point where Kittim jumped from Cyprus to the Italian peninsula. A similar shift happens in the apocryphal book of 1st Maccabees, which states that Alexander the Great came from, guess where, the island of Kittim, meaning Greece. But the final stage of this move happened after the Bible was completed. In AD 70, the Roman Empire destroyed the second, or Herod's temple in Jerusalem. The rabbis continued to write under the nose of the occupying superpower. They needed safe vocabulary to discuss and critique their oppressors without drawing down fire. Kittim was their answer. It was the perfect code name. By the medieval period, Jewish tradition claimed that the literal descendants of Kittim migrated into Europe, built cities along the Tiber River, and became the Romans. The deal was sealed. Italy just wasn't another nation, it was the historic embodiment of Kittim, the great Western adversary. So when people ask me, is Italy mentioned in the Old Testament? My answer is, sort of. The modern word Italy isn't anywhere in the pages, but its prophetic great-great-great-grandfather, Kittim, absolutely is.